Change is gonna happen no matter what. It's just a matter of how do you go along with it that fits your lifestyle, your brand, your livelihood, your future. I just want to see what makes Austin tick. Housing is an issue already for Columbus. We're already seeing people getting priced out of neighborhoods. You know, we're talking middle-class families that have worked really hard that are saying, I can't afford to live here anymore. And is it going to get worse when we have all these high-tech companies start to come in and this growth gets larger and larger? So which parts of Austin dealt with that kind of change? Does that blueprint match up with what Columbus is doing? What Central Ohio leaders are looking at? And maybe we can take a little bit of what they did right and expand on that. I really want to hear from, the person who had that American dream and decided to start their own business 20 years ago, and they're at the peak of that now, and that could all go away depending on how our developers in Central Ohio plan for this boom. We've got such a great downtown here in Columbus. What are we doing to make sure that we have that balance of people who want that city life, but maybe want to work in tech that is out in the suburbs? What can we do to support both sides of that? So I'm just excited to meet, I guess, the real people, right? The people who maybe chose Austin to be their home and find out why, like what kept them there. I'd be curious to see what Austin Knights are like. Is that a word, Austin Knights? Austonians? Sounds very official. Let's go to Austin! Hey everyone, Angela here. We made it from Columbus to Austin, just an hour in. And yes, it's hot, but look at how cool this is. Peace, love, Austin. Can't wait to see all the stories that we're gonna find here and figure out whether or not Columbus is like Austin when it comes to boomtown or better. Can I just stick my foot in it? Does that look cute? That looks cute, yeah? Oh, that's it. Do you like my boots? We are in South Congress, Austin, Texas. Cute little street. Not really little, but you get that small town vibe because these stores are just so unique. A lot of pride for the small business owners here, and especially along the South Congress area. And they really built this community of neighbors that are also business owners. The one thing that struck me with the business owner, he said, as he looks at South Congress now, he's proud and glad that he's still here, but he's a little lonely. And that really struck me because you could tell that there's a part of him that is sad for his friends who couldn't keep their businesses alive. I think the biggest surprise is honestly the similarity between what happened here on South Congress and how they dealt with big developers, how they dealt with the boom, and what we're hearing back in Columbus and Central Ohio. That similarity is scary, but then also insightful. If a business like Monkey See, Monkey Do can survive, we can hopefully, through our stories, help small businesses back in Central Ohio do the same. We all know change is coming, so how are we going to help people navigate that change? And the best way is to learn from the experiences of others who are doing it right. So my daughter is really into mushrooms, and they had mushroom sunglasses. I mean, who does that, right? Growth is still here in Austin. Housing is tough. People are getting priced out. People are buying or renting places sight unseen. Homes going 30–40% above, and it becomes a bidding war. It just seems unattainable. If it can happen here, certainly can happen in any city like Columbus. There are so many things of Columbus that we want to be able to offer, and we don't want people to be priced out. When we spoke about the term affordable housing, they have really turned the page on what that looks like. It doesn't look like this public housing that people have this image of back in the day or that they see in the movies. They're building a community here, and that's what makes it so beautiful. And I think when they look at housing more about for the people as opposed to just making it affordable, that's the game changer. We went to Round Rock. I would say it's a mix of Dublin and Hilliard with how expansive it is. The growth that Round Rock is seeing reminds me of kind of that Dublin, Jerome, Plain Township area where you have new homes, single family homes, but you also have these multi-dwelling apartment complexes. They're building new fire stations. I mean, we're seeing that growth kind of in the northwest part of Franklin County. I was surprised at the art. Everywhere you went, there was art. It's not just a sculpture that was intentionally put there. They have art on the sides of buildings. They have art as a stained glass window. They have art painted on brick walls, and it just brought the city alive. It made it colorful. They talk about it being a destination city, so that's why it reminds me of like Destination Dublin, right? People go there for the restaurants, the nightlife, the scenery, Bridge Park. Round Rock, they have the same. It's all the things that we're seeing some of the city planners in our suburbs do. So when you hear that Round Rock is doing it right, it's nice to see that we're paralleling a lot of that in Central Ohio. Walking in, every single person, friendly as a Texas smile. I mean, even a hug. Welcome to Taylor, Texas. When you talk about that Texas charm, this was it. I think this is what I was expecting when we came here to look for a boom town that was trying to figure out how do we grow when we have something as huge as Samsung coming into our area, taking over farm fields, and what does that look like? And this was it. And I'm so happy that we stopped in Taylor because we got that small town charm, and you also got this sense of pride that, hey, come on down, growth, we're ready for you, but we're not gonna lose who we are. As we started driving in, you saw the old brick buildings, you saw the old barber shop, and it reminded me of Chillicothe maybe 10 years ago. Then I started thinking maybe downtown Newark, Johnstown, Alexandria, all those areas around where Intel is building right now. Yeah, you will have some people that are saying, yeah, but I don't want to lose this charm that we have. So you talk to the city planners and they feel it too. They grew up here. They don't want to lose it either. So they're planning with it. And I think that is part of what makes places like Taylor so successful. And it's so interesting that so many people who are now in Taylor used to be in Austin, right? And they talked about you can't get what you have in Taylor in places like Austin because they're so priced out or they're so overdeveloped. Here, they really have this golden opportunity to make it what they want it to be, as opposed to being forced to have what is thrown at them by someone else. I'd actually ask current leaders two things. Are you embracing growth and how? But also, how far in advance did you plan for the growth? Because it seems like the ones who didn't plan ahead, the ones who were anti-growth, are now playing catch up. You cannot catch up with growth like this. Right now, Central Ohio should not be planning for Intel today. We should be planning for Intel in 15, 20 years because we know that's coming. I don't want to just hear them say, oh yeah, we have a plan 2080 down the road. What does that look like? We have learned so much just about what goes on behind the scenes, really making this place affordable and likable and still Austin weird. So it's kind of eye-opening today. These are great lessons that any city like Columbus that is facing this big growth, fast growth, can really learn from to say, okay, let's look at what they wish they had done. Is that something we should do? How does that fit into our mode as Columbus and Central Ohio? And let's move forward with that, And I think if we don't look at those things, then we're gonna fall in the same trap that Austin is in right now, which they are playing catch up. As fast as Columbus and Central Ohio is growing, I do think we're behind. We know we're behind with affordable housing. The city leaders have said we are behind. We're building X amount of housing units this year, but we need 80,000 more to keep up with demand. So how are we doubling or even tripling our efforts now so that when that growth comes, that we're ready for it? That's still a little scary for me, living in Central Ohio, to say, not only will I be able to afford to stay and live there as I grow old and maybe retire, what about my child and kids in college? And are they gonna have to move back home with me because they can't afford to live in Columbus? So we'll see. 10TV flew from the capital of Ohio all the way to the capital of Texas. Gosh, why not Austin, right? After you see so much of the similarity between Austin and Columbus, the metropolitan city. It's vibrant, you've got a lot of young professionals, you have a college town, you have the state capital. We're looking into this magic 8-ball of what Columbus could look like by seeing all the great things here in Austin. As much as we loved Austin, I think I also saw great opportunity for us in Columbus. There's no doubt about it. The art here, the nightlife, it is beyond us. And I know we can get there with Columbus. We have so many great artists. Now we're gonna say, how are we gonna make it bigger and better in Columbus?